Hi friends, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Today we are working on month 7's block for the 4-Star Generals Revisited sew along that I'm doing with Quilts. Although there is no more patterns available through Quilts and the sew along is closed, you could still go out and find this wonderful 4-Star Generals Revisited pattern from Kindred Spirits for Yellow Creek Quilt Designs. You could still find this pattern and these videos will be available for you to sew along with. So without further ado, let's get to making block 7 for month 7. Okay, so let's get to making our blocks. So we are making this block right here. The bees are for my background, which for you is your light color. We're going to make that block. I have my light fabric, which is also black for me, as well as my main fabric cuts, my accent 1 and accent 2 cuts, and again, my light fabric cuts. So we're going to go ahead and start assembling this. So we're going to take my light, or my background, which is black for me, and accent number 1, and we're going to draw a line down the center from corner to corner, and we're going to sew on each side of that line. I'm going to go ahead and use my diagonal seam tape on my machine, but just know, draw your line and sew on each side of said drawed line. Here we are at the machine. So again, I have an invisible line. You can't see it, but I know it's there. I'm just kidding. We're going to be sewing from on each side. So I'm going to be using the 1/4 inch lines to sew on each side of my invisible line. So what I'll be doing is lining up the tip right here, and I'm going to put my foot down right to the side of that, just like this. Oh, here, this will be easier just to show you. I'll line it up. The edge of the foot is my 1/4 inch guide along the edge of this, and then I'm going to put the other tip down here on this line. Oh, and it would be nice if I had a better stitch length. All right, here we go. Keeping it on that line all the way down. So again, I'm going to be sewing on both sides of the line, but I have all of my pieces, so I'm going to bring all these over here with me for all 4 blocks that make one big block, and I'm going to go ahead and sew on both sides of my diagonal invisible line. So I'm going to go ahead and put you in fast forward while I get to sewing on all of these. Here are all of my pieces. So for now, I'm just going to move all these out of the way, just like that. And this is my sashing. Just going to put it right there in the middle. We're going to go ahead now, before I iron, and I am going to slice these right here. And then we're going to be trimming them down to the size that it says in your pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and line up my ruler from corner to corner of the spot with the size I want my blocks to be on my seam line, just like this. I'm going to go ahead and cut the dog ears off while I'm at it, just like that. And this is so much waste. So much waste. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and put you back and fast forward while I trim these to the size I need and then press them. So they're ironed. And now they're back with their colors that I matched them with. So now is the next step. So we're going to take our background rectangles and our accent and our main fabric. We're going to take the main fabric pieces, accent fabric pieces, and the background. We're going to take these over to the machine and start sewing some flying geese. That's right. Yep. So let's stack these up because I'm going to take all of the groupings over there and we're going to get some sewing done. All right. We're at the machine. We're going to take, to start, one rectangle. I'm going to move the rest over there. And I'm going to start with my background fabric. And we're going to connect one of these to this side. And I'm going to sew from corner to corner, like this. Okay, and since I'm not next to the iron, I'm going to go ahead and finger press that back, okay? I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to cut my 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just discard those little tiny dinky things. We're going to take another main fabric. We're going to put it right sides together on the opposite side now of our rectangle. And we're going to sew from this corner to this corner. So when you open it up, it will create a flying geese unit. So let me sew this real quick. I'm just going to sew it this way right here. Again, I'm going to finger press that back. I'm making sure that my ends line up. Everything is straight and nothing adjusted. Then I'll fold that back and snip this away. Now I'm going to chain piece all of this, but I just want to make sure that you get the general idea. So here's one little flying geese unit, just like this. So let's make another one, except this time we're going to do it in our accent 2 color. So I'm going to take one of these right sides together on one corner. I'm going to sew from corner to corner, just like this. I'm going to finger press it back first so that I can make sure that this whole thing is nice and straight. As soon as I know it is, I'll snip away my 1/4 inch seam, like that. And then I'm going to grab another one of my accent number 2 and put it on the opposite side. So you can see it's on, here's the point up here. We're going to put it right on this opposite side. We're not going to sew from here to here because that would leave us with a diamond in the middle. We actually want from here to here. So wherever your top point is here, we're going to cross over that. Line this back up. Doesn't matter which way you sew it. Again, I'm going to finger press this back, just like this. Make sure that it is aligned, and it is. Peel that away and snip away my 1/4 inch seam. So there we should be good with a flying geese unit and a flying geese unit. I will press these when I'm all done, but for now I'm actually going to chain piece all of the one sides onto one and then all of the other side onto the other, and then make all these and then press them all. So for now, 2 and 1, 2. So I need 3, 2, 3 like this. Those are going to go with this one, and then there should be 3 left. 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That way I know I have it all here and I can make sure that I don't get anything out of order. But I'm going to sew them all through first with one of the sides, and then I'll go back and do the opposite. So I'm going to put you in fast forward while I do this. Okay. That goes there, that goes there, that goes there, and that goes there. The next step is, now that we've made all these and they're pressed flat, the next step is to take one of each. And I think we're doing the light facing this way and the dark. I don't know. I think it's going like that. Let me check to make sure. So here's my center square. It's showing on the diagram that the main color is closest to my center square and that the not main color, my accent number 1, is right here. So I'm going to make a pile. All of these are facing the same way. And then all of these are facing the same way, like this. And they're going to get put together like that. So we're going to do that with all of the piles. So these are going to go like this. And then these will go like that. Where are we at? These will face this way. And these will face that way. This pile, same thing. Making sure they're all facing the same direction before I take them to the machine to sew them. All black on this side. Yep. All right. So what we're going to do is go over to the machine and sew these units together just like this. And I'm going to chain piece the lot of them. And then I'm going to press them. But for now, let's take this and this over to the machine and start sewing these now. Ugh. I feel like I've been sewing for hours, but it's probably not been that long yet. Here we are back at the machine. I'm going to line up my seam guide. Reason for this is because I cannot sew a straight line for the life of me. So I use a magnetic seam guide. All right, we're going to stick these right sides together. Everything's in the correct orientation. And I'm going to aim for the cross point. Okay, so let me show you this real quick on the back. You can't see it on this because it's black. Let's see if I can hold this up if you could see. See the cross point where the stitches come here and across there? I'm aiming for the inside of it, of the cross point. That's what I'm doing. So if you have to use a scant 1/4 inch seam to get that, do it. So I'm just going to line them up and sew them all through, right sides together. Aim for that cross. Try to keep a nice straight seam allowance. That's what the guide is for. Okay, next set. Keep everything facing the same direction. Stack them all exactly the same. Doing this is kind of a little monotonous, but it's the only way to make these blocks. Well, not the only way. But I'm going to go ahead and put this back and fast forward while I sew these through and then press them all back. And I think I'm just going to press them all towards my main fabric. It doesn't say, it probably says to press them open, but I didn't. Anyway, fast forward. Now it's time to lay the block out. So we're going to take a center square, and again, same as I was demonstrating, because I didn't know, it's them in, it's creating like a star. And then we're going to be putting the purple inward, or my accent color inward, like this. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Let's look at the block. Does it go like that? Here's my background on the outside, which is black for me, and then the accent background on the outside, like this, like that, like that. Looks correct. Okay, so let's lay them all out, and then we'll sew them. So I'm gonna go like this, that, like that, and like that. Inward, inward, and inward. So there is uno, dos. Let's do the third here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these go inward, 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 inward. Just like that. Look at that. Looking good so far. And last block, this purple goes in like that. Ta-da! Now to sew them. So I'm going to take this one and put it to there because we're just sewing a 9 patch. This one to there and that one to there. I'm going to sew down that right side, open them up and attach this, that, and this. So let's go to the sewing machine and do that. All right, so I'm going to take my first 2 just like this, and I'm going to sew my 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to take those second 2. I have them stacked next to me, so all I have to do is reach for them and sew, lining everything up. And the last 2, everything's in the correct position still. I didn't move or turn anything. I'm going to come down and I'm going to open it up. I'm going to press towards the half square triangle, towards the center, and towards the half square triangle. And now we're going to grab the last 3. So I'm just going to bring it over, right sides together. Oops, hey, don't move. And I'm going to sew this through. 1/4 inch seam, not moving or twisting anything. Again, on some of the blocks, when I'm attaching, I'm aiming for right at that piece that, so that I still have my points, although I'll probably lose a few this whole entire time. All right, so again, towards the half square triangle, towards the center, towards the half square triangle, and now turn it. They're hooked together. I can't get anything out of order. Just going to go right sides together. I'm going to nest this seam right here. There's no other seams to nest. Just making sure everything is nice. I'm aiming again for that cross that comes in. Oops, come on, get over there. There we go. Stay. Yes, I talk to my fabric. Sometimes it listens. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to finger press it towards the outside. Right there, just like this. And now I'm going to turn the whole thing right sides together. Again, I'm going to line up my ends. Nest my middle seam. Aim for that X crossing. Aim before it, not after it. Finish lining everything up. Press it back. Thread right there. And I managed to keep all of my points, as you can see, just because I was aiming to this side of it, not to that side of it, so to the right side. All right, so let's get some more sewn. I'm going to go ahead and put this in fast forward while I sew the rest of the blocks. All right. Now to lay the block out like this, but I'm going to leave some room in the center because we need to add our sashing pieces here, there, and there. Okay, so we're going to take this piece and this piece right here over to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew these on and then add this one. Same with this bottom. I'm going to go this piece with that, then sew that on, and we'll see you at the finished block. And there we have it. The finished block looks very different. Very different. It's called a capital T. Does not look like a capital T to me. Anyways, there is the finished block. All 4 blocks make one big block. I pointed out that I'm lining up the seam. If you've been watching since video 1, you can see right there. They make one straight continuous line. I just line them up and there it is. So the block measures the size it's supposed to according to the pattern. And that's it. I'm done. It's together. Moving on. In a month, I will sew the next one. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up on your way out. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And check out the videos that are popping up on the screen. You might like them.